All right, welcome back to Junior's Music Corner. Thank you for joining me. If this is your first time, I appreciate it. Go ahead and stick around with us. All right, it's been a minute since I've uploaded. Past couple months been super busy, but Happy New Year, 2025. And the beginning of the year is when we get these vinyl tags. So this is gonna be my shot at the new vinyl tag for 2025, presented by Pretty Green Vinyl Guy. Let's get into it. All right, so 2025 vinyl tags, 20 questions. We'll do my best to answer them to my best ability, and if not, we'll freak them a little different. But let's get it started. So number one is your best purchase of 2024, new or old. With that one, I went with Oshun. This is Bittersweet 1 and 2. This was a special release on vinyl. It's to commemorate their time together. As recently they've gone on to do solo projects. This was their first one. This is Bittersweet 1. This was Bittersweet 2. And it's my favorite purchase because I didn't have any of their music on vinyl, which I'm glad they got together and put this out. And also it was a super limited run. And I believe if you didn't get it when it dropped, you're not gonna get it. So shout out to Oshun, Tandi, and Niambi, and I hope you do well in your future endeavors. Great music though. If you never heard of them, Oshun, Oshun, like the African deity. You can compare them to like a mix of Lauren, Badu, some Jilly from Philly in there. Great music. Shout out Oshun. All right. So number two, 50 years later, best album from 1974. Not too many albums from 74 in my collection, but we do got the OG Big Brother Bear. Can't get enough. Classic material. Cannot go wrong with Barry White. One of the best. R.I.P. to Big Brother Bear. Classic music, man. You can still play this one like it was 1974. Shout out Barry White. All right, number three is an album that defines a genre. I watched Daryl D's video, and I kind of agree with what he said. Not one album defines a genre, but you can get pretty close. The genre I went with is a subgenre of hip-hop music, which is known as trap music. And with that, I went with T.I.'s first album, I'm Serious. Straight up trap music. T.I. was one of the first to even use that term, trap music. Of course, his second album was titled Trap Music. Yeah, but this was the foundation. And on the cover, he's wearing what they refer to in Atlanta. Of course, it's a work suit, but in Atlanta it was called the trap suit. And this was a reissue. It's a special pressing, hand numbered. And I believe I got, let's see, number 24. So classic album. Used to play this all the time. I still put it on and let it run, but this was one of my go-tos back in the day, man. Shout out T.I. All right, number 4, the best band from your country. I go with one of the best bands from my country. There's great bands from the U.S., but this one, I'm sure a lot of people will agree, one of the best bands ever. Earth, Wind, and Fire. Cannot go wrong. Don't matter your age. You put on some EWF and get the party started. Do you remember? All right, number 5, an artist that you miss dearly. A quick one will be Tupac, but I've shared my feelings on that in a Tupac video. But another artist that I do miss dearly, and I don't think we got enough of, was Amy Winehouse. I was hurt when I heard that she passed, and I really enjoy her music. Beautiful voice, beautiful soul. I do not think we got enough of her music, and miss her dearly. Great album. This is Frank. R.I.P. Amy. All right, number 6, best live album in your collection. I've got a few live albums, not a lot. But with that, I went with Death Row Live at the House of Blues. This was Tupac's last concert, official concert ever. And it's billed as a Tupac album, sold as a Tupac album, but you had the roster from Death Row. Death Row was in the house at the House of Blues there. Great album, great show. They sold copies of the video copies of the show. You can find the DVD, but I'm sure the show is also uploaded to YouTube. So this is what's chose as my favorite live album. It's pressed on white vinyl. Great show. R.I.P. Pac. All right, number 7. Your partner just dumped you. What are you putting on? There's countless sad love songs, breakup songs, all this da-da-da. I'm with Amy. Back to Black. Don't get much more heartbreak music than this album. Great album, classic album, like I say. Love me some Amy Winehouse. R.I.P. man. All right, number 8, best sounding drums on an album. It's kind of a hard one with me. I listen to a lot of hip hop, a lot of R&B, a lot of modern. And a lot of drums are digital. But if we're talking drums and drummers with the music that I listen to, I'm going with Questlove on any Roots album, but this is my favorite Roots album. It's The Tipping Point. And Questlove is the man with the drums. Now, digital drums, I would have to go with someone who I feel changed the drumming game or changed the beat game, and that would be Timbaland. And this was one of his first ones. With this is Genuine the Bachelor's album. Timbaland produced this. Great beats, and but I feel Timbaland changed the game with Aaliyah's One in a Million. That beat was iconic, and nothing sounded the same after that. So shout out Questlove, shout out Timbaland. Drums. All right, number 9, favorite artist who is a member of 2 or more bands. I'll say groups with mine. I went with Juvenile. Of course, Juvie is a solo artist. He's also a member of the Hot Boys. And when he left Cash Money for a little bit of time, he started his own imprint with UTP Records, and he had the group UTP, which was Juvie, Wacko, and Skip. This is, of course, Juvie's breakout album. This was his second album, and this is 400 Degrees. Classic materials, ones that set Cash Money on fire, literally. This is the Vinyl Me Please version, pressed on yellow. Shout out Juvie. All right, number 10, Beatles or Stones. I don't own any Rolling Stones albums. I don't own any Beatles albums, but if I had to choose, I would have to go with the Beatles, due to the fact, I loved them when Clarence Walker was in the band, and they were known back then as the Clarences, and I loved them back then. And if you get that joke, you are it. All right, number 11, you found a bag of weed. What are you going to put on? Be careful just picking up random bags of weed in 2025. People won't be on some other stuff. But let's say you found a nice little bag. I'm going with Devin the Dude. This is Sweet 420. If you know Devin, you already know. Perfect soundtrack to any session, such as. And get it poppin', man. This Sweet 420 is pressed up on what they call sticky green vinyl. Devin the Dude, man. All right, number 12, an album from the 80s that you still listen to. True. Attitude. To this day, one of my favorite albums. I can put this one on anywhere and let it go. as a kid, I loved this album. Me and my homeboys used to sing and dance off of this, but to this day I love this album. Classic material from the 80s. Shout out them boys. 13. An artist whose political stance has soured you. I don't have one for that. Don't really dabble too much into the politics or show concern for what other people feel unless it, personally affects me. So we'll move on to the next one. 14. Show a favorite record label. With that, I'm going with Rap-A-Lot Records. J Prince. From a youngin', Rap-A-Lot it's been a big influential record label as far as South, one of the first black-owned Southern record labels, and they put out a lot of heat whenever there was a Rap-A-Lot release. And most people know Rap-A-Lot for Scarface, Ghetto Boys, R.I.P. Bushwick, shout out Willie D. But there was Fifth Ward Boys, there was T-Live, of course Devin the dude got his start on Rap-A-Lot. But when there was a Rap-A-Lot release, 90% of the time, it was going to be good material. The production, like Rap-A-Lot's in-house production, was top notch. You were going to get some heat. So, shout out to Rap-A-Lot. That's the label I'm going with. All right, number 15, a run of 3 great singles. Of course, it's subject to listener. 3 singles that I chose are from this album. This is Dead Prez, one of my favorite rap groups. This is their debut, Let's Get Free, put out on Loud Records. And from this album, I went with Police State, which is a great album. Shout out Dead Prez, shout out Stick and M1. And of course, Hip Hop. This is probably their most well-known song. And also, if you're not familiar with Dead Prez, but you are familiar with Dave Chappelle's Chappelle Show, the theme song that Dave will come out to is the instrumental to this song. And last but not least, off that album also, Mind Sex. Great track. Shout out Dead Prez, M1, Stickman, DPs. Number 16, an RSD purchase that you actually consistently listen to. I went with Stephen Marley's Fruit of Life. This was one of my RSD purchases from not too long ago. Great album. This is part 2 to the first album. Great album. I may not play this record much, but this album plays when I'm in the car, when I'm streaming. Lots of Stephen Marley. Shout out Damian Marley. Great album. Come on, man. The Marley Boys, it's in the blood. And of course, yes, this was RSD. I showed this in a RSD video that I did not too long ago. Of course, pressed on gold vinyl, and it came with the tips, whether you want to roll a spliff or whatnot. Shout out Stephen Marley though. All right, 17. You can be reincarnated as any artist, dead or alive. Who's it going to be? It's a tricky one. But after all the thinking and debating, I went with that brother James Todd Smith, better known as LL Cool J. LL's been doing it since I was a child, literally, and now cultural icon, one of the only rappers from back then that can still sustain off music. Speaking of which, he just dropped another album not too long ago, The Force. But great rapper. Moved over to acting, did some acting, and still one of the best. And as far as rap music and goes, and longevity in this thing. So shout out James Todd Smith, better known as LL Cool J. Not to mention those are my initials. All right, number 18, best 3 lines in a song. I went with pun. There might be 2-3 lines, but dead in the middle of Little Italy. Little did we know that we riddled some middleman who didn't do diddly.
Dead in the middle of Little Italy. Little did we know that we riddled some middleman who didn't do diddly.
Dead in the middle of Little Italy. Little did we know that we riddled some middleman who didn't do diddly.
Iconic line in hip hop and rap music. I believe everyone knows that line. From the Twins deep cover remake with him and Fat Joe. Iconic, came out of the blue and blew everyone away with that. Shout out Pun, R.I.P. Pun. Of course, this is the 25th anniversary of this album. One of the best. R.I.P. Pun. All right, number 19. An album you never tire of. Doesn't matter what's going on, what I'm doing or whatever. You can always play this album for me. This is Badu's Worldwide Underground. Classic material, man. This is a great album from beginning to end. I had this CD back in the day at first, and it took me a while to listen to it, but when I did, fell in love with it, man. Shout out Erykah Badu. Oh, apples pressed on purple. Badu Worldwide Underground. All right, number 20. Share your favorite VC channel. Again, one of my favorite channels. Daryl D, all things Daryl D. Stays with the heat. Great collection of records. Massive collection of records. But some other channels you could check out. Top 5 Vinyl. The brother he interviews record collectors, which is great. I got an episode up there. Y'all go check it out. I believe on episode 30. Yeah, man. Great channels. Anyway, that is going to end my 2025 vinyl tag video. If you haven't, like, subscribe, all that stuff, man. Until the next time, peace.